I have a Chinese boss who is married and I am his girlfriend. Yeah. You know, today's story is super spicy, guys. You have to stay to listen to it. Plus, please do comment in the comment section. I want to listen your thoughts regarding this story. Since you enjoy another story which I shared previously, I thought why not share more, since every day I receive so many stories about Latinas and Chinese men. Okay, let's get down to business. Hello, I have a Chinese boss. I am Mexican. And since the first day we met, he invited me to go out with him. I accepted his invitations. It's been normal, but he is married in China. In China. He says, like, we could even get married in Mexico. What? This, oh my god, this story is just too spicy for me. So I've listened to these like cases where the Chinese man is previously married in China with family in China, comes to work here in Mexico and finds, or elsewhere. There was a story also from a Colombian girl who married him like all in white, like they had a wedding, like a formal wedding with all the family members involved. And once he got married to her, like after like 6 months or so, he just left the country. Like he disappeared completely. He ghosted her and she couldn't like contact him anymore. And he was back in China with his former wife. And the second one, the Colombian one, was just left without anything. These stories are just crazy, and this is gonna happen more and more here. And by the way, let me tell you one thing, because this channel is mostly focused on business. I see this as a business opportunity. I'm not talking about married men, but like Latinas now, Mexicans, Peruvians, Colombians are crazy about Chinese men. And I am sure that more and more Chinese men will be coming over. So why not make a business out of it? Like I have always dreamt about an app, but I don't have I'm not a software girl or anything. So if you guys will ever want to collaborate on this, the thing is like it's a little bit complex. I can get the Latinas in the app, but I don't know how I will get the Chinese on the app. Plus I will be by no means responsible of these Chinese fellows. Anyhow, let's continue. I'm sure that it will make great business, because if we have like an entry fee for them to pay to join the app, they will join. I have thousands of followers in my channels, guys. I have like seriously, you don't have you don't understand the magnitude of this business opportunity. But I do, therefore I'm sharing it with you. Okay, let's keep business. Let's keep telling the story. It's been very normal to be going out with him, but he is married. Oh, what a little detail. And then it's like, he says we can get married in Mexico. Like, what is this? Anyways, he has been telling me that if I marry him, he has been asking, and I will say like no, because he's already married. And he will answer, he's not married in Mexico, he's just married in China. Oh my god, I didn't know this. I previously listened some stories, but I don't hear this that often in the YouTube like street. So what do you guys think about it? Please do comment, because I'm sure you also have some cases and stories to share regarding double marriage. And I don't believe the Chinese women are doing such things, but just Chinese men. Anyhow, he says like he will just be for a short time here in Mexico, and afterwards he will go forever. So what is the case of him marrying her in that? Oh, that's just disgusting. Anyways, so, oh my god, this is getting too spicy. He will be just for a short time in Mexico, and afterwards he will let forever. That after he goes, he could leave a mixed baby behind, and he loves the idea to have a baby. This story is just too creepy. But the story is not creepy as the girl writing and sending the story and being with a man like this. He says that he will help us like financially, but he will not be with us. What? And who guarantees you that he will be sending help once you are like just left with him? And I'm really annoyed by this because Mexico, it's a country that we have previously spoke about this, I believe, like pregnancy and leftover women with just children are on the rise every day. They have these affairs, and after the man leaves, he doesn't want the commitment of marrying the woman or even taking care of the children, so she's just left by herself. So maybe these Chinese men do understand the situation, and it's easy for them to let them romanticize the idea of them having children, of them giving them children, and just leave them like that, sending them money over. Okay, this is just too crazy. It's very sweet. He's so very kind and generous. I really fall in love with him, with all the presents and gifts, attentions that he brings for me. I am falling over him every day more and more. I don't know what to do. I see him every day. And the weekends we go out, I stay over at his place. I need an advice. Seriously, guys, please do advise her. I am no one here. I'm not gonna be an advisor in this channel. I am an advisor in my Spanish channel, but I'm done of that now here. I'm just gonna be a sharer. I'm gonna share the stories, and you guys gonna advise her because you are the Chinese watching here. I have many Chinese overseas, Huaren, as well as many foreigners that also may be married or even like dated Chinese. By the way, I believe my skin is looking so nice. Maybe the vegan diet is somehow paying over after all these years. It's been like 10 years, guys, since I became vegan. Exactly. This 2024 is my 10-year anniversary being a vegan. I became vegan at 2014 when I was about to graduate from Shenzhen Uni, so it's also been 10 years since then. Okay, this is just the beginning, guys. This is just crazy. We have been together for 2 years. Like, what? But he's married. He spends more time in Mexico than in China because of his job. He says that he would like to stay here many years, but I still have a lot of questions. Sometimes I think that the relationships in China are so different. Therefore, I accept many things. Like, for example, he will come over my house, and because we have somehow trust or we have built a connection, my parents know him and he has been staying over at my house. Sometimes he arrives and he just says like, I'm gonna stay over tonight with you. I feel a little bit strange because up to me in China they are quite like respectful. I feel strange because I live with my parents and I don't think this is a good thing to do for my parents that my boyfriend is staying over. This is just nonsense over nonsense. He doesn't invite me to do any other plans. He just comes over and stays here. Whenever he's tired, he will go to swim or relax by himself. Just whenever he's with me, we will be hanging out at my home. At 5 p.m. he will leave because he's very responsible towards his wife and his child. I'm not sure whether the wife and child are here in Mexico or elsewhere, because why will he be leaving at 5 p.m.? Oh, I know now. He will call them and he will be taking care of them all the time. I feel so in love with him. I really love him and admire him so much, but I know that I don't have a future with him, and that's very painful for me. I have been wanting to get away from him, but he tells me like he sees me as his wife here in Mexico, and that he will stay here maybe 5 or 10 more years. And after that, he will go back to China. I tell him that this is just very nonsense because I will stay alone at the end of the day. But he says like he will be with me, that possibly we will have children. I am 30 years old and the time is running. I really want a family and children, and no, I don't want the time to run away. He says that I need to stay with him, but I really don't know what to do. He has been a big support for me. He's been giving me presents and like being gentleman. I would like to talk to him, but I don't find the words because I wouldn't like to tell him to get a divorce. I will feel very bad with myself if I get to do that, and I know that it's not right to tell him that. Guys, please give me a break. This is just, I mean, I receive these kind of stories almost on an everyday basis. They're quite different. This one was a little bit too much. Like, seriously, just because he says he sees her as his wife, you gonna just believe that? Like, where is my house? Where is my monthly, how to say, allowance? Where are my expenses paid? Like, where is the care I deserve as a wife? I don't see any of that. I'm just gonna become a Chinese now, because let's face it, I grew up in China and I will not accept any less than that. By the way, some of you guys, as well as in my other socials, have been asking whether or not I'm married or I'm dating. No, at this very moment, I'm still single. And yeah, it is not, that doesn't mean that I'm not willing or wanting to find someone, but I do have some standards as well. And this is just so not right in so many aspects, not just from like him being unloyal, because we have been talking about infidelity here, like how Chinese men are unloyal, how Mexican men are unloyal, and the differences between the two cultures. If you watch that video, you know what I'm talking about. But this is just next level, because she kinds of believes everything he says, plus romanticize the idea of it. Like, what? Are you romanticizing the idea of having children with a Chinese just because you're in love with him? Nonetheless, that he's married and that he said he will be sending you support, but who knows is the truth or not. And besides, no matter how much support, as financial support, he will be sending, it will not compensate for the lack of a father. I mean, it's not the right thing to do for a child. It's not he or she will not deserve that, right? Like, let's say you are a born child to these women, and after some years you will realize, like, yeah, I was the lover. The mother will be like, I was the lover of your dad. I knew that he was married in China, and we are left alone by ourselves because he's back with his former previous family, his favorite, and we are just leftovers here. He will be sending, or not, some checks from time to time for us to survive. But apart from that, we cannot really count on him because he has his priorities, and those are not us. That is not the best ideal life for a child. I just feel like really uncomfortable on how Latin women, I previously also talked about this in another video here in the channel, Especially I focus on Mexicans because I'm from Mexico. I'm Mexican, by the way, if you guys are watching for the first time. I am from Mexico. And although sometimes I got confused and people don't understand that I'm from Mexico, maybe I don't look as Mexican, um, you know. But the thing is, like, how these girls over here and overall in Latin America romanticize the idea of like men telling them to have children and to like just that they perceive them as wives, and they would just fall in love with this idea or words without any sustainable evidence. Or like in China, I was also talking about that in that video which I made regarding the requirements or like minimal entry standards for a guy to marry a girl, or even to talk about marriage. Like, you just don't talk, you have to show like some evidence of your assets, of your belongings, of who you are now as a man, either 30, 40, 50. I'm believing this man is not 30 years old. He might be 40 or over 40. So he's quite mature to own things. But of course, his assets will not belong to her. They will always, and they are all already maybe belonging to the former wife in China. So girls, if you're watching and if you are Chinese, I receive these stories on an everyday basis. Not like this one precisely, but different twist to the plots. Nonetheless, so many wives over China are being cheated with Mexican and Latinas here. And of course, it's not just the fault of them, but you can see clearly that these men are also taking a big part of the romance story, somehow just sweetening their ears and telling them sweet stories about how much they want to be with them. Yeah, of course, just for the time being. There will be in Mexico, and as soon as he's off, and forever. He even mentioned that, like the word forever. So you will be left with your child or with your children, if there are many, by yourself. And since you are a warrior, independent Latina woman, I guess that wouldn't be a problem for you, because it's super common to do that here. You by now must have already a few friends that are also on their own with a few children, with them to be taken care of, because the dad just isn't responsible enough, or they also did this accident when they were too young. So things are like that here. And yes, I haven't had any children, by the way, just because I was previously mentioning I am single and I'm not dating anyone. Yes, I would like to date someone. And by the way, coming to my story, I would like to date a foreigner. I believe maybe I've been here for 4 years, guys, and I haven't really dated anyone that I feel it was as suitable as when I was in China, meeting, people that go abroad and see a different world, had different hardships to overcome. It's just a little bit not the same. Hopefully that will happen, and I can also move to another country. That'll be very nice for me to experience. Besides, I have the knowledge of few languages. Anyways, just for your information, since sometimes you're quite curious on what are my thoughts, my plans, etc. If I want to have children, I do want to have some children, maybe a few, 1 or 2. Previously, when I was young, I wanted to have like 5. But that didn't make me fall for this like romance scam stories, or like, how to say, these pienzi, these cheaters. No, how to call them? I mean, I wouldn't fall like for some men like this, no matter how much money they have, because she was also describing how good he was with her, how he will be purchasing gifts and giving her so many attentions. So women here will be like, oh my God, he's so sweet, he's so caring, he's so nice. I am just really wanting to be with him no matter the conditions, because I can't get another man like this nowadays. So I do have my standards, and not because I am at this very moment, I'm 37, I feel like, oh my God, the war is running, just like she is saying the time is running. And that might give her a trigger to even start a family now, with those setup conditions, which are just not to her favor. So in my case, I wouldn't feel like that. I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, I have to settle down no matter what the offer or the conditions or the kind of man. No way. In that case, maybe it's even better. I will to not settle down at all. Yeah, so that is my mindset. So what do you guys think about this story? It's just real nonsense, but I'm sure that you must know more stories similar to this one. So I would like to listen. Please do share in the comment section. This community needs to grow. I need more comments and more likes. And I'm gonna leave also the link down below to buy me a coffee. If you will please to buy me a few cups of coffee or one, you are welcome to do so in the link down below. And big shout out to Robert Ball from Canada. He said like he has been watching my videos since like when I was in Shenzhen, and he does really enjoy my content. He bought me 5 cups of coffee. Yeah, I'm so happy. Yes, Jenny, man. You are my real good friends who have stayed with me and supported me all this long. So be excited for new content to come, and be welcome to support me as well. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you on the next one.